In almost lockstep fashion, Governor of California, Mayor of San Francisco, we're going to need all the state, all the city employees coming back into the office 4 days a week. They're going to talk about collaboration and all of this working together. What it comes down to is money. Let's get into it. Here we go.
No more working from home. We have seen Bay Area cities return to the office, but now it'll happen at the state level. Governor Newsom is ordering state employees return to the office 4 days a week by July 1st. NBC Bay Area's Jocelyn Moran has the details.
Tonight, Governor Gavin Newsom issuing an executive order mandating state employees return to the office in person at least 4 days a week.
This is another domino to...
Why haven't they been there already? I mean, pandemic's been over forever, right? It's been over forever. Now it's one of those things where, if we can just keep people happy, maybe they won't quit.
Well, when it comes to bringing people back to the office.
President Trump called many federal workers back to the office. San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie is ordering all city employees to return to the office at least 4 days a week by the end of April. And now it's happening at the state level. California has more than 220,000 full-time state employees. The policy change is expected to apply to about 40% of the workforce who are currently required to report to an office at least 2 days per week. Catherine Koch is a state worker who chose to return to the office 5 days a week before tonight's announcement.
I haven't seen any benefit to my own personal productivity being in the office 5 days per week. And frankly, I have no idea where they're going to fit everyone. Our floor is completely full on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Under the order, state agencies and departments must develop plans to accommodate the increase of in-person work. Newsom says bringing workers back into the office will improve collaboration within the state departments.
I know one of the things they're going to say about us coming back, it's for collaboration purposes, but honestly, we do a lot of collaboration on Microsoft Teams, and that works great.
Since the pandemic, the work from...
This is not about collaboration. All these jobs, anybody that can work from home, you got the technology to do it. It comes down to taxes. Tax revenue from all the businesses, all the real estate, all the office space. It's not there if you don't have people there because of that trickle-down effect to all the businesses on the street level. So you've got real estate values absolutely tanking because you don't have enough people occupying not only the big commercial buildings, but the smaller retail where all the businesses go that support all the people that currently aren't there. So this is all about money with a little bit of we're going to try and provide some transparency here. We're going to talk about collaboration, but it's not about that at all. It's about tax revenue to the state. It's about tax revenue to the city. Bottom line. But they've, in these big liberal, not only states and cities, they've told everybody, oh, you can work from home forever because the Rona, if you get it, you'll die. Well, that didn't happen, but now they're stuck with this policy. And so they're in that catch-22 of, well, we don't really want to upset people. They might quit, but we also need the money. What do? Well, let's do a slow ramp up.
The home model is one many have adapted to and enjoyed. NBC Bay Area tech reporter Scott Budman expects more pushback.
We have seen a whole bunch of people just get used to working from home and, to their credit, getting the job done from home.
Yep.
To be told they have to go back to the office and get in their cars and commute and sit in traffic is something that people have not only gotten used to not doing, but they've really appreciated not doing.
But for businesses, it could offer a boost having employees working nearby.
We'll see. We have to see. I don't know. Things have changed. So to see what people will do.
Let's start with California. Let's see what gruesome Newsom has to say. So did an executive order. All right, everybody back to work. Remember when Trump did it with the federal workers? Oh, this is terrible. Fascism. Oh, this is horrible. Now Newsom's doing it. I mean, it's almost in lockstep, isn't it? It's like, we need some more money up in here. What are we going to do? Let's get the band back together. Make everybody go back to the office. Yeah, the carbon footprint's going to be so much better with everybody working at home. Well, the problem with all this work from home stuff is the system isn't designed for that. We're not designed to have everybody work from home. You're designed to have everybody working in these big downtown cores. Now in San Francisco, that has just been hollowed out. San Francisco has one of the slowest recovering downtowns. Probably, it is neck and neck, with Portland. In Portland, you've got a bunch of other issues there, but you got some homelessness in there. You got crime. How about all the people driving back into the downtown core that are going to have their car bipped now, right? The side window just bashed out, car gone through. How about, what's that going to look like, multiplied by XYZ? The flip side to that is when the pandemic happened, so many businesses just shut down in the downtown core because there's no people around, and criminals just had their way with the marketplace, right? Just crime just absolutely exploded. Well, now with people coming back in, does that crime dip or does it go up because you've got more people in the downtown core marketplace, business marketplace in general? It'll be really interesting to see. The order requires all employees to work in the office at least 4 times a week. Amazon did this January 2nd or whatever it was. Amazon said 5 days a week. This is what you're doing. You'll enjoy it. You'll love it. You'll love the collaboration. Love the collaboration. And I think in these individual companies, they want their employees back in the office. They want that control. They want to pull those strings. Even if nothing really changes, they just want people back because they're spending a ton of money on real estate. They want some for their bang for their buck, not having all these people work from home. Some telework flexibilities may be granted on a case-by-case basis, depending on individual circumstances. The in-person work makes us all stronger, period. Newsom said in a statement. Does it? Does it really? In-person work makes us all stronger. I thought the fact that people could be more relaxed and stay at home, take their dog on a walk, be there for when their kids got home. I thought that was the kumbaya that we focused on during the pandemic. This is going to be the greatest thing ever. We're going to work through this together. Kumbaya. Right? Nah, kumbaya's over. Got to get back. Got to pay those taxes. Got to create that tax income for municipalities. When we work together, collaboration improves, innovation thrives, and accountability increases. So when we work together, you mean online? Because I think most people can adequately work online. I think there's enough solutions where you can work online. I've got multiple people in my businesses that work from home, and it works out great. So you don't need people in the office to work together. You don't need them to be there for collaboration. We heard the one guy say he used a Microsoft product, and we're there. And you can do that. Innovation thrives and accountability increases. The one thing that I would really say as a guy who's owned businesses for, 3.5 decades, something like that, is that it's more difficult to train people. The younger generation doesn't get the training that I think they need, that they may not know that they want, but they need as their career progresses. They need to have that ability to talk to their mentor on a daily basis. They need to be able to watch their mentor, how they handle situations. Leave your door open, have Junior listen to whatever you're doing, and, they take on kind of that learning process where when you're at home, all you've got is just the very slim optics of seeing that person on video. And it's not as good as in-person learning. It's just not. But is that practical for all job situations? No, it's not. Is it practical to have your CEO of your company basically, holding somebody's hand? No, it's not. But in the real estate industry, that's how it goes. And that's how, most of my stuff has gone. So having everybody work from home, it's not going to work. There's a phase-in period, I think, where you need to be in the office. So that means better service, better solutions, better results for Californians while still allowing flexibility. This is a bunch of nonsense. Better service, better solutions, better results. But I thought working from home provided better service, better solutions, better results. According to the order, state agencies that offered hybrid telework have until July 1st to implement the in-person policy. Yeah, everybody's getting, they're getting, hey, need to come back to the office. Need to come back to the office. because you got Doge looking through everything. As far as commercial leases, you got Doge looking at selling a bunch of buildings in San Francisco. So efficiency is kind of on the line. And if you got a whole bunch of office space and it's not being used, what does that look like? What does that look like? Let's do just a little, look through your building and see how many, folks are actually coming in. Because if they're not, get rid of the building, whether it's a lease or owned or whatever. And so much of this office space just sits vacant. Nothing going on. Building after building after building. And it's not just San Francisco. It's not just state of California. It's everywhere. Because everywhere kind of, whether you're Texas or Florida that shut down a little bit, a lot of companies sent employees back home and said, no, we don't want you to get the Rona. Can't have that. San Francisco workers will have to return to the office at least 4 days a week. Mayor Daniel Lurie said the change will go into effect on April 28th, much sooner than July 1st. He's shooting for, we need people back. Now, the San Francisco one is going to be interesting because San Francisco has basically just been hollowed out. So you're going to throw all these people back into an environment that's been empty for basically going on 5 years now. Well, let's see. Is that right? 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah. Going on 6 years. Is that not insane? Remember all those podcasts back in the day? How long will work from home continue? And we were told forever. We were literally told forever, right? Just, this is going to go on forever. Dude, it's not happening. And I said back then, this will never happen. I said, it'll phase in. I didn't think it would be this many years. I thought it would be a couple of years. Be interesting to go back and look and see what I actually said. But yeah, I mean, there is no way that this work from home is going to go forever. Certain businesses are more conducive to it than others. And San Francisco is one of those markets, but we're talking about municipal employees here, right? And those people, I believe, depending on their job, they should be, if they're facing the public, be in the office. I think it's important. Those functions, you can't get that, talking on the telephone or emailing. San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie said an April 28th deadline, it'll affect 10,000 employees. Okay. I mean, that's not exactly massive, is it? No, it's not. Lurie said that 70% of city workers are already working in the office 5 days a week, and the adjustment would bring between 8,000 and 10,000 employees back into the office 4 times a week. A more efficient San Francisco. Here's the nonsense. Here's the BS. What they're saying. It's going to help us deliver better quality services to the people of San Francisco who deserve a more efficient and efficient government, and being in person helps us do that. How about you clean up your streets? How about you clean up the poop? How about you do something with the homeless people? How about you crack down on the criminals? How about you work on some of that instead of worrying about in-office people? What about that? I'm just throwing that out there as a concept, but you know where I stand on that. He added, we're in a new era here in San Francisco, and we need people back to work. What about the carbon footprint? What about all the smog? What about all the pollution? What about all the people who don't have an electric car? Oh, we're putting a lot of pressure on the environment here, aren't we? Yeah, because we need people back in the office because we need their tax revenue from basically supporting all those other businesses. The whole ecosystem wasn't designed for work from home work. Just wasn't. It just wasn't. And now is when we're finally getting to that point. Okay, all the pandemic money has basically been spent. And now governments are looking around going, what did we do? I guess we got to double down and get everybody back into the office. Lurie said the adjustment would improve in-office communication and boost the local economy. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Boost the local economy. If they would have just said that up front, hey, guys, this really sucks. Hate to do this to you, but I'm doing this because I love you and I love this city. I could get behind that, right? I mean, somewhat. Anything these politicians say, I'm like, 95% of it is just nonsense. Here's the 5% that does make sense. Boost the local economy. Yes, that's what this is all about. He also pushed private companies to bring more workers back to downtown San Francisco to help the city recover from the pandemic. Now, if downtown San Francisco was a very pleasant environment to go to, that would be one thing. But how many podcasts have we done right here on News for Reasonable People about Union Square Shopping Center, San Francisco, that has been absolutely hollowed out because you got a bunch of nut jobs running around that poop on the elevators, that, just you've got crazy homeless people wandering in from the Tenderloin, and nobody wants to shop at these shopping centers. So why would private companies bring back more workers to downtown San Francisco to help the city recover from the pandemic? Why would they do that? They're not going to unless they have some rent incentives, unless they have some big incentives to bring people back. They are private companies that have basically worked out. We no longer need the super expensive downtown San Francisco real estate. We do not need that. Therefore, why are we going this direction? And they're not. So Lurie can say all he wants, hey, let's bring people back. But the only control he's got is over municipal workers, right? And he can, kind of tell people, we need you back in the office. See what the Epic Times has to say. After several years of lenient telecommuting policies, Mayor Daniel Lurie's order is an attempt to make the city more effective and responsive to residents. Don't believe anything. So we've got the standard services more effective, responsive to residents. This is what San Franciscans expect and what Mayor Lurie will deliver. We'll look forward to working with our partners across the departments and in labor over the coming weeks to implement the mayor's plan. Many city employees have enjoyed the option of telecommuting since July of 2021. When wasn't the pandemic kind of on its way out at that point in time? It was. We were a year and a half into it, right? No, yeah, we were almost 2 years into it when then Mayor London Breed signed an amendment to the healthcare something with the goal of reducing the flu. Telework likely begin in earnest, however, on March 17th, 2020, with the shelter-in-place order. We had that, but then we had extension after extension after extension. So even after we had the vaccine and all that good stuff, I think so many promises were made, and so many of the folks that were telecommuting, I mean, they made big decisions. They made, we're going to relocate. We're going to live everywhere we want to live, and we're not going to be tied down to the whole concept of going into the office. Well, all those dreams are being shattered right now, right? I mean, all right, you need to come in, don't really care, and if you don't like it, you can find another company to work for. I mean, that's effectively what Amazon said, right? Hey, we know you don't really like to come into the office. We know you don't like to commute. We certainly don't like to have, the carbon footprint increased the way it's going to with all of you driving. But we're going to provide, buses. We're going to provide, shuttle services. And they do that. But those things, create a footprint as well, right? So let's not kid ourselves that this is going to be good for the environment. Much of the stuff that we do literally has a tiny positive impact on the environment. So let's not kid ourselves and say, oh, we're really doing our thing here. Because you're not. You're still driving a whole bunch of people into a downtown core that arguably could probably get their job done at home just as well as going into an office. But we need the tax revenue. So we're just going to go there, right? Not all city workers have been working from home since the pandemic. So Port of San Francisco began welcoming telecommuting people back in November of 21. Don't really care. My job is not to demand that the private sector be back in the office every day. My job is to make you want to be downtown again for work with your friends and with your family, Lurie said. Okay. I gotta tell you, a lot of people are going to say hard no on that one till you clean the streets up. Hard no go. Till you get the homelessness under control, till you get the people pooping on the sidewalk, making downtown, pleasant for work with your friends and your family is kind of like telling me to go to downtown Seattle, areas of downtown Seattle, and just do that with my friends and family. I don't take them down there, and there's a reason for that. You've got exposure. Me going down there with my son Kieran, maybe with his girlfriend, whatever, taking my girlfriend there, that's one thing. And we don't even really choose to do that. I typically do those little trips by myself because, it's a little bit of a, hey, what could happen? Let's go into downtown Seattle. This is exciting. Anything could happen down here because you got a bunch of nut jobs running around that are whacked out on drugs and you don't know what they're going to do. So before the pandemic, nearly 470,000 people commuted into San Francisco every day. 500,000 people commuted into downtown San Francisco. What's that been cut down by? I think by like 90%. Lockdowns resulted in San Francisco office attendance dropping to less than 10% of what it had been prior. So you lose 90% of, all the attributed income to the businesses generating that. Taxes on businesses, taxes on all the real estate they occupy, just all the taxes it takes to create, the ecosystem. You cut 90% of that. Now you don't have the federal funding for the pandemic. And now you've got Trump and you've got Elon Musk running Doge. We need to get self-sufficient on our own. That is what this is all about. It's just that it's stated in these, collaboration and a bunch of buzzwords that don't really mean anything. At the end of the day, get your ass back to the office. That's what we're talking about. Get your ass back to the office. This is what we're doing. We had a great run there for 5 years, but those days are over. I'll see you at the office. That's where we sit. And if literally these leaders were more transparent, I'd be more respectful. But, they got to walk that fine line. That's why I'd never get elected, because I'd say a handful of things and people would be like, oof, yeah, that guy is not mincing words. But it's true. This is all about money. It's always about the money. Follow the money. You'll get there. All right. That's it for me. Thanks so much for being here. Talk soon. Bye for now.